Become the Lord of Light and Darkness with Chaz's manga support. Now, I'm hyped for this. Look, this is going to be embarrassing, but Light and Darkness Dragon, Dark End Dragon, and Light End Dragon are some cards that I find incredibly cool. Now, there's a couple things. I'm gonna sound like Billy Brake for a second. Light and Darkness Dragon is one of my favorite cards of all time. One, I did not know that Light and Darkness Dragon was a combination of Light End Dragon and Dark End Dragon. I learned that right now by looking at that image. I have never noticed that in my entire life, and that's kind of embarrassing. The second thing is that I also did not know that they were Chaz Princeton cards. I thought Chaz Princeton, and I guess that gives away that I have never actually seen GX in its entirety. I've seen a decent portion of GX, but not all of it. And I did not know that. I thought Chaz Princeton was just playing some weird, like, Ojamas and the XYZ Dragon Cannon retrains, you know? Only in the manga. Oh, that might explain it. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, today I learned. But there's Light and Darkness Dragon support, which I find very cool because I love Light and Darkness Dragon. Very cool card. Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, level 10 Light Dragon Fusion Effect Monster. Materials, a level 8 Light Dragon and a level 8 Dark Dragon. That's very fitting. Must be fusion summoned. While face up on the field, this card is also a Dark, just like Light and Darkness Dragon. Once per chain, when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, quick effect, this card loses exactly 1,000 attack and defense, and if it does, negate the activation. So with 3,000 defense and 3,400 attack, you can do that exactly 3 times. So technically that's worse than Light and Darkness Dragon, because Light and Darkness Dragon can do it 4 times because it's got 2,400 defense. If this card is destroyed by your opponent, you can target a dragon in your grave, special summon it. Kind of disappointing, I guess. In a way, it makes sense, but it doesn't actually have anything to do with the original Light and Darkness Dragon, outside of the fact that it has a similar effect, but it doesn't have any synergies. It is a potentially relatively easy to access fusion monster, though. Like, the way I see this is this might be splashable. Like, I've seen some people on Twitter talk about the possibility to use this in branded, which I don't know how easy it would be to make it in branded, but technically that could be very toxic. Yeah, how can branded fusion? No, branded fusion doesn't make this. But you could make it with can Cartesia make it? Can Cartesia summon level 10? Yeah, right. Branded in red can do it. Like Lubellion and Albion are Dark and Light fusions, level 8, and so they can make it. Now the thing is, one thing you have to realize, chat, is that you can do a lot of stuff with branded. You can summon a lot of things. And you can fuse into a lot of different stuff. The question is going to be, is this going to be better than what you can already do? The answer to that I can't give you. I don't know for sure if it's going to be better. Then, you know, you can do like Gimmick Puppet and all that kind of stuff, and that's probably going to be better. I'm going to be real with you. I am still annoyed by the fact that I'm looking at this card and it's meant to be this cool, like, retrain new version of an old card, and the only way I can conceivably think of playing it ever is to make it in branded. That kind of annoys me. I'm not a fan of that fact, you know. And then we have Light and maybe these guys can make it. You can only use the first, second, and third effect each once per turn. You can banish a level 8 dragon from your extra deck, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except dragons. Is there anything crazy you can do with this? Is there like a cool level 8 dragon that does something when it's banished? Not sure. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster using monsters in hand or field. Okay. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can make this card lose. Yeah, this card isn't great. Unless I can banish a cool card for this, I don't think it's very good. And then we have Dark End Evaporation Dragon. Level 8 Dark Dragon effect monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can banish a level 8 dragon from your extra deck, special summon this card. Okay, this is just the same card. The only difference is target one other attack position monster. This card loses 500 if it does destroy that. Okay, the effect is a little bit better. It sets up corridor. Yeah, no one cares. It's Dark End's effect? Yeah. Yeah, this is Dark End and this is Light End's effects, but yeah, they should have maybe realized that Dark End and Light End were like good like 15 years ago, and even then they were only like okay. Well, Dark End was good, but like Light End was only okay. So, I don't know. Yeah, outside of maybe playing the fusion in Branded, I don't see a whole lot of potential here. You missed the card for the dragons? Oh, did I? New cards. Oh, there it was. Oh, I did. 2 cards. Okay, my bad. Hold up. Knight Armed Dragon. Well, that's probably not Light and Darkness Dragon support. That seems like Armed Dragon support. Level 3 Wind Dragon. You can only use the first, second, and third effect once per turn each. If you special summon a level 5 or higher dragon, you can special summon this from hand. If this card is special summoned, you can make its attribute and level become one of your banished dragon monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a dragon you control. It gains 1,000 attack. Okay, so just like an extender that can become different levels for dragons. I don't know if that's good for anything. Sounds like Bestial support. Technically, it turns a Bestial into a rank 6 Xyz, right? Because if you banish one Bestial for another Bestial, you can like summon this and make it a level 6. I don't know if that's like, there's plenty other level 6, you know, materials out there. Oh, okay. It gives 1 more negate. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a dragon. Yeah, but that's funny actually, because it cannot be responded to. Because normally, that is one thing I want to point out with this guy. This, like original Light and Darkness Dragon, negates your own cards, right? Not only your opponents, and it is mandatory, so you can't choose. And this thing being unable to be responded to means that you can boost this without it negating it, because this makes it so it cannot actually negate it. But I don't know if that is, you know, what you need. It does kind of like, I think the way they want you to use this is let's say you have one of these 2 in hand and the other one in the graveyard. You can banish one to summon the other. Then you can summon this. It can copy the level and the attribute of the one that you banished, which makes it, you know, light or dark. And then you can fuse into the guy. But you guys are correctly pointing out that it doesn't give defense, which then in return is useless. Moving on. Dragon's Glory of Light and Dark. Quick play spell. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn. Shuffle a level 8 dragon from your hand into the deck, and if you do, add a level 8 dragon monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. So, okay, that is -1 to search a level 8 dragon. You'd have to be very desperate to want that. Target a dragon monster, it gains attack. That's pretty irrelevant. When a card or effect is activated that targets a dragon, you control negate that effect. I do kind of like it that it's a searcher on the one hand, and it also stops Veiler and Imperm. It is kind of like a very, very budget Chaos Space, though. Alright, not great. But the card looks good. It's a pretty card. It is a pretty card. I like the artwork. But okay. Worst case, it's a battle trick. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The second and the third effect on this card isn't great, but I don't hate this design of making a card like this that has like a search function, consistency function, and give it other options. That is okay in my book, and these other options don't have to be crazy at all times. It's just like, okay, clearly this card is meant to be used as a searcher, and if you ever don't need the searcher, you have other uses for it. I think that's good. I just think that the primary effect on the card isn't quite good enough. Right? Would be better if it gave attack and defense, so it adds 2 negates to the fusion. No, it would not need, it would get negated by the fusion, because the fusion would negate it. That doesn't work.